there's all these photographers who shoot so differently, but they have all the same insecurities and fears and patterns. Because you can see someone's style. I like to shoot urban street photography, but they don't like to shoot portraits of people. They like to shoot the remnants of people. So it's so funny. All of them are like, I'm a street photographer, but I don't like to focus on the people. I like to focus on where the people were and what they've been doing. But it's strange. Even landscape photographers are saying that. I don't like people. I like the absence of people.
Yeah, I think especially since 2020, that seems to be the trend, you know?
Yeah, 2020 did some long-lasting psychological damage to some
Oh,
people, man.
100%. Yeah,
Yeah.
100%, yeah. And, I have, 2 daughters, one 27 and 23, and especially the
Mhm.
23-year-old just got screwed.
Yeah. It's man, that was a blur for me.
Yeah, that was weird. I do miss the freeways, I gotta say. They were nice and empty. But ever since then, everybody, at least in California, drives like 85 minimum.
Yeah, something changed there. A switch got flipped. We got too comfortable with the empty highways is what happened, and then now the cops are having a buffet of tickets and all kinds of how strict are they on speed limits out in California?
California, like, it's, as long as you're not, far and away faster than everybody else, if everybody's going 85, then no big deal. I would say I could cruise at 80 miles an hour without having to worry about getting a ticket, no problem. Yeah, I know, like, when we travel cross country, I know once we hit Ohio, man, you had to be 55 because they're strict. I don't know if Michigan's like that too or what.
Fuck Ohio, man. Pardon my French, but Ohio, I've been ticketed there so many times for going 2 or 3 over.
Yeah, they are strict, man.
We got a ticket from a aerial reconnaissance vehicle last time we were there.
Oh my, you've
Yeah.
got to be kidding me.
No, they give us a ticket from the air.
That's like in, Europe where
So,
you get on the Autobahn or whatever, the freeway, and it knows when you got on, and if you get off somewhere and got there too quickly, they're gonna send you a speeding ticket because they timed it.
oh yeah, it's ridiculous, man. They've gotten real schemy with their get rich quick things. I'll tell you that right now.
Yeah, and now in California, because everybody's driving the EVs, they're losing their gas tax money, so they're trying to figure out how to gouge us now with, mile per mile and stuff like that.
They're doing that here right now too. They just launched a like $18 million study or some. I'm like $18 million. You could do a lot with $18 million. It's Michigan roads sucked. Have you ever been to Michigan?
I have just on the way to when I graduated college, we did a baseball stadium tour. So in
Mhm.
'91, we did not stop in Detroit. We were on our way to Toronto, so that's the only time I've been to Michigan is driving through it from Chicago. From Chicago on the way to Toronto,
Oh, that's a boring drive too, because you got to bring like 94. Yeah, that's boring. You know, when you get to Michigan, those roads are a nightmare.
and then when we came back in upstate New York from Canada, they pulled us over because they thought, like we were drug dealers or something because we're like, what are you guys doing? We're just graduated. We're traveling around to baseball stadiums, and they thought that was totally sus.
Yeah,
And so they pulled us
they
over there to check the credit cards and all this stuff.
well, if you were a drug dealer, you'd have a better cover than doing a baseball stadium tour, right?
Oh my god, yeah, 100%, 100%. But Toronto is pretty cool. I haven't been there since, but nice big clean city back then.
I haven't been to Toronto since I was young, young. I barely remember it. I think I was only 4 or 5 maybe when I went with my parents, but I need to get out of the country. That's what I
Yeah,
need to do.
yeah.
I wanna go to Spain. Spain's my new big target.
Spain does look cool, like, especially when I saw those photographers doing the, Andalusia, videos on YouTube, you know?
That's exactly why.
I'm a Nick Carver, fanboy, so, and then all those other guys and women, who are doing that, what is her name? The one who does the film. She carries around that big RZ, um,
Oh,
and she's tiny, but that camera looks so big on her.
it's
Um
the girl from Grain Check,
Yeah,
isn't
that's
it?
it, yeah,
Uh,
her, yeah, and she probably took some of my favorite photos on that whole thing, but after watching those videos, I'm like, "Okay, let's go
yeah,
there."
I started looking at property there after those videos came out, and it's shockingly affordable. I was shocked by it, but the requirements for moving there are pretty steep. You have to have a certain amount of income and everything.
Oh, really, really? Okay.
Yeah, and
Yeah,
I'm a
because they want their
photographer, so
taxes, right? So,
yeah.
yeah.
But my fandom belongs to Jason Comerfeld at Grainy Days.
Oh, I love Jason too. Yeah, he is so funny, man. I still haven't got through his last one because, like, I did watch his like 2 hour long one, which was what, a couple months ago. Man, that
Yeah.
was, but it's good. So there's something about him that he's just, I can watch him. No wonder you like
Oh
Aerochrome,
yeah,
because
absolutely.
he's the Aerochrome
Yeah,
master,
he's
man.
so good with Aerochrome.
Like, how much does that film cost?
250 a roll at least minimum.
Like $250?
Yeah, dude.
Wow.
So naturally, I went digital because I am notorious. I have rant about how cheap I am all the time, and I will never pay that for film unless it's a 100-foot roll of something really
Yeah,
good.
yeah, yeah.
I hope somebody starts making an Aerochrome knockoff. I think somebody tried to a while back, but it just wasn't received well. But that'd be something I'd be very interested in.
Right.
Hopefully, the people over at Harmon, Ilford, or Kentmere, stuff, just anything, anybody, they'd make a killing. Money hand over
Or
fist.
Lomography, maybe? I don't know. Yeah, yeah.
But what you been shooting, man? You been shooting anything?
Well, I've been shooting, probably mostly, street type stuff, since I got the M11P, um, doing color,
Ooh,
so, yeah. Um, uh, Mostly color, street, I guess that's it recently. In the past, I guess I would say I would go out to the lake and what have you and do the trees and things like that, but with this camera, for some reason, I'm not inspired to do that yet, so.
really? Yeah, I've been struggling with inspiration on stuff. I finally picked a photo project, so I might actually go out and shoot more often. So,
Yeah, I need to do that. I have, like, a few that I sort of do, like PATHS, Paths is one that I'm working on, and but it's not very inspiring, I have to say, so and then there's one I have, which is better, the, kinda gold rush towns of California. So, since I live right amongst them, it's a pretty no-brainer, but they're all in black and white because I was using my monochrome back when I had that.
yeah. I is that the one you shot Bodie State Park with?
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
those were awesome
Yeah.
pictures.
Yeah, thank you, yeah. Um, that was fun, man, it's cold up there.
I bet.
8,000 feet, man, it was the end of May too, and it was still freezing, but and that there's a weird vibe up there. I don't know if I could be a ranger and live there.
Have you ever listened to those "I was a forest ranger" videos on YouTube?
Uh-uh,
Where
uh-uh.
oh man,
Where they
no
got
way
weird stories?
yeah, I could never,
Like
never in
Bigfoot
a
type
million years.
stuff?
Yes, and
Like these
people
weird
vanishing.
sounds that they have no idea what they are?
Yep. There's this one that's he's I don't even know if it's true or not. All I know is it scared the hell out of me. He's a search and rescue guy that goes into national forests and he talks about all the weird strange things he's seen like missing 411 where all the people just go missing in national and state parks and stuff like
I
that.
have
Dude,
seen that kind of thing, that's crazy, that's, like, weird.
yeah, this is told from the search operative's perspective that he posted on Reddit, and it haunted me for weeks. I thought about it all the time because I go into a lot of those state national parks, and I just don't
Yeah,
want to fall
yeah.
into a damn cave.
Or get abducted by a UFO, apparently.
Yeah, man. I live around the Great Lakes. We allegedly have those everywhere, anyways.
Yeah.
What other projects are you thinking on? You said the Gold Rush towns and paths.
Yeah, and, I'm I go down and shoot, old Sacramento a lot. I just don't know, they're all very, I don't know, similar, so I don't know if there's a project there or not. I can't figure it out quite yet if there's something. At one point I was gonna do it just on film, and, I've shot it on film, I've shot it digitally, I've shot it every which way, black and white, color. Um, I don't know. I think what I should probably do is just print them all out and then see what's there, is what I should.
I was talking to Hans last night, and he said that printing his workout changed the way he looks at his work. It makes it more
Yeah,
tangible and deciding whether you like it or not, as opposed to just seeing it on a
right, right.
screen.
I do print out, like, "Ooh, this is a good photo, I'll print that." So I'll print that out, but I haven't really, like, but those are like 8 by 10s or whatever, and then I put them in a box, you know? I haven't really done the 4 by 6s and spread them out and looked at them that way, which I think is what I have to do.
I would agree. I've been looking at little mini printers that can print out the little, so I could just. Hans has a portable I think it's a Canon printer that prints out the little selfies, and he's been using that to print things out. So I'm kind of looking at eBay here and there to see.
Is that the print like Thomas Heaton's been talking about a printer like that
It
recently?
might be. I'm not positive.
Yeah, there's like these small little printers that, yeah.
Yeah, that'd be cool to have just even for travel. You could just print a little thing out, slip it under somebody's windshield or something. I have seen a guy that does that.
And it's funny, I've had, my wife and I went to Napa a couple months ago, and I took my Yashica, Mat 120 what, 24 124G, right? Is that right? Yeah, God, I haven't used it so long since then that I even forgot what the hell it was. But I've had 1 shot left on it for, like, 2 months, and I was like, "God, I gotta just take a shot of something so I can send in the film."
You're still sending in your film right now?
Yeah, yeah, I don't man, the developing thing I mean, because I did that in 7th grade, 1980, in the classroom, and, uh, yeah, I don't know, the smells just oh, I cannot stand those smells. Obviously, I'm sure it's a lot different now with with the because I was watching your video on in the little developer thing, I'm sure it's not as bad. But I did like I remember liking the darkroom printing and stuff, that was pretty
I've been looking at enlargers because I want to try darkroom printing.
and, like, doing all the stuff, like, dodging and burning with, like, holding shit over stuff, and that seems pretty
It
cool.
does. I need to get into that. I'm building
Yeah.
a dark room right now. Like, this is my small office, and just outside, there's a door right here. Just outside that, I'm building a. It's probably 12 by 15-foot area. I'm turning into a dark room, so I stop huddling in my bathroom with a quilt over me to develop film. It's so shameful. I'm always just like, I'll be back, and just disappear under a quilt.
You gotta put the red light on the outside.
See, I do need to do that because my daughter has a problem with just barging into rooms. My son not so much. He'll be like, "Dad, where are you?" The girl just appears from the light and ruins it.
Right, right. That's very funny. What film do you like to shoot mostly?
I like Foma 400. I do. It's branded as Arista, but I like it because it's cheap and it's not terrible. But lately, I've been slamming through some Kodak Vision 3 500T.
Oh, yeah, I have some of that, yeah. I don't think I've shot it yet though, but I have some of it, yeah.
Yeah, I bought the 100-foot roll of it. It's weird for daylight because it's balanced for tungsten. It's very weird, but there's something about it I like. It feels like you're looking at the '60s when you get the negatives back. I'm like, "Oh." I even just looking at the negatives, you could tell the colors were weird. And I do you have a warming filter that you plan on using when you shoot it, or are you just gonna shoot it?
I wasn't planning on it, but I guess I may have to if you suggest it, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you can. You can, I don't. So I'm just shooting it without the filter. And there's a couple people who have already commented saying the colors are so weird because you aren't using the
Oh
warming
my gosh,
filter and
that's
blah 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 blah. And I'm like, yeah, man, because I don't care if it looks like shit.
right.
I'm trying something new. Let's see what happens. Just because everybody else uses it.
I had I had some Cinestill 800T in my, Yashica T4 when we went out to Boston for Christmas, and, obviously shot that at night, but also some daytime shots, and I thought the colors were pretty cool.
Yeah. Was there a heavy blue green cast to it? Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, I
yeah.
really like that. And some people just absolutely hate it.
I thought it was better than I was expecting, I have to say. So, maybe my expectations were so skewed that, the
Yeah.
reality wasn't as bad as I was expecting. But I really like, I'm a big fan of the 250D. Really like the Vision 250D, man. The grain is just, like, non-existent, and
Yeah.
the colors are just spectacular. Like, no wonder they shoot films with this stuff.
Right? I've been looking I found a 100-foot roll of that for sale, and I've been thinking about picking that up too, but I know it would financially cripple me at this point.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, especially since Kodak changed the rules, right? Don't you have to demonstrate that you're gonna use it for film? I'm sorry, a movie, essentially? Yeah.
I buy it from resellers, so I don't know how they
Yeah,
get
so
it.
they can just jack it up for you then. Yeah.
Yeah, so I'll tell you how much I paid for the 500T. I found it on eBay. I paid $104 plus $5 in shipping, and it gets me 25 rolls of 24 exposures.
That's not that bad at all. Wow.
Yeah, it's $4 a roll, basically. But the 250D, I think, is 112 for the same amount, but I need to wait for that one to come back in stock. I can buy some from this place in either Denmark or Germany, and it's gonna be like 190 by the time I
Oh,
got it to my
wow.
house because of how expensive
Yeah.
shipping is.
Yeah.
And at that point, I might as well just buy the rolls.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, film, man. How much film are you shooting now?
Right now, not a lot since I got the M11, so I'm totally into that, I don't know, it kinda comes in waves, like, film is my usually my savior when I'm feeling unmotivated and lacking, um, I don't know, when photography leaves me, you know?
Yeah.
Film is usually what is my way back in. Um, like, I really started back in, like, 2019, and by 2021, I was kind of done with it, and then I was really burnt out at the beginning of, like, 2024, and that's when I really shot a lot of film last year. Um, and I kinda petered out after, like, my plan was for 2025, I'm gonna shoot nothing but film. That lasted, like, 3 weeks, you know? Whenever I make these proclamations for myself, I completely just, like, peter out, you know?
Yeah, and I'm the same way. I always say I'm gonna primarily shoot film, and then I'll go somewhere, I'll happen to have my camera on me with all of my lenses, my digital, and then just in case I don't get the shot with film, I'll take it with digital. And it's an ugly cycle, that's what it is. It's just because I always edit the digital one first, and then I'll post it, and then by the time the film's developed, it's like, well, you already posted this, so
Yeah, yeah. I watched, I don't know if you watch Pauly B's videos on
I
YouTube.
don't think so.
He does a lot of these walkie-talkies with usually street photographers in New York mostly.
Yeah,
Um, and one of the I can't remember her name, but she shoots both. So she'll walk around with a digital and a film camera. And that kind of intrigued me. And so like when we went to Hawaii last year, I brought my EOS 3.
yep.
Because sometimes I just don't feel like dealing with figuring shit out. I just want to point the fucking thing.
Yes, I agree.
Dude,
Dude, that's why I like
with
point
film,
shoots.
because it's either like in my M6, which is, I have to figure everything out, before I can shoot, or the EOS 3 where I just bam. And then I had my other like SL2S, and so that was seemed to be a good combo. And I don't know, it seemed obvious to me when I should shoot one versus the other. I don't know, and I don't know if I can really explain why, but just certain situations like, oh, this is gonna be a good film shot. And I was shooting, I was shooting the 250D through that, I think, if I remember that, or Portra 400.
How do you like your Leicas?
Uh, I'm I love them. Yeah. Don't don't get one.
Don't get one, but I love it.
Because you're screwed if you do. Because man, it's just, I mean, it's so it skews your perspective on costs of stuff.
Yeah,
Like, ooh, a high-end Sony lens is like $3,000, and I just like laugh, like, give me a break. Like a 28
right.
millimeter f2 Summicron and Leica is $3,000. I mean, and that's on the cheap side. So and you start making excuses and you sell all this stuff just so you can get more stuff, and it's just, yeah. But no, it's I for street especially, I can't imagine. Like, I have an X Pro 2 still. I still have an X Pro 2,
Yeah,
which I love that camera. I haven't used it in a while. Um, but with the lens, like setting zone focusing, you kind of have to do it digitally because they have the little line. I don't know if you're familiar with Fuji's or not, but
yeah.
the pre-focused distance, you have to do it. You see where the line is, and all. Whereas on the Leicas, it's all right there on the lens. The and it's just, I have it set on like f8 or f5.6, and I can just, I don't have to do a lot of focusing. Um, for general street stuff, obviously, you fiddle with it. You get used to. That's the biggest thing too with it is focusing with it. You just have to practice with it and get used to it.
I'm trash with zone and anything involving a rangefinder. I have tried so damn hard with rangefinders. I've wasted so much money trying to get good with those. And I think that's what's going to stop me from getting a Leica in general.
Yeah, I think you're either a rangefinder person or you're not. And I always tend toward them. Like, one of my first cameras with this, where is it? This Vivitar thing from the late 70s, 80s was. And, when my dad passed, we were going through the house, and I found that camera, and lo and behold, I didn't realize it was a rangefinder. So yeah, and so, it was rangefinder type focusing, with the and, I was like, "Oh, so that must have been ingrained in me back when I was a kid," that's what I knew, and so no wonder I gravitate toward because the Fuji was my gateway drug, the X Pro 2, um, because I really like the rangefinder system, and like I have a Texas Leica too, the, GR 692. I always get confused. I have the 2 or the 3. I think I have the 2, yeah. Um, and the negatives in that thing are huge, and those things are fantastic.
That shoots 120?
Yeah, yeah, and they're 6 by
Yeah.
9 negatives.
Holy shit, that's a huge
Yeah.
negative.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
they're really big, yeah.
I have yet to dabble into medium format, but I'm looking for a medium format camera despite knowing I shouldn't make that kind of
Yeah,
financial risk at this time. It's
yeah,
it's
yeah,
gotta be the right price for me to get into 120 because I have to make a few upgrades to actually do it. I have to get the
right.
camera, the lenses, the reels, so I can develop them.
Yeah, I guess that's true, right? If you're gonna develop it yourself, that's a whole another thing to think about, yeah.
Yeah, well, the reels aren't anything super crazy. It's just nickel and diming me to death on my way to 120. Because if I get a medium format, it's going to be a Mamiya of some kind. I don't know which one it will be.
Yeah, yeah, those are nice, man.
Yeah, but
That or the Hasselblads, yeah.
yeah, oh man, I saw an X1D for sale today on Marketplace for $4,200, and I was really thinking about it. It's like selling a car and trying to get that.
I mean, these YouTubers, man, they're giving them their X2Ds. I mean, that is just insane.
Well, I talked to a buddy that does some of that. I won't name who it is, but he got the X2D to review it and then had to ship it back because he wouldn't buy it from them. They offered it to him at a discounted price and he had to ship it back.
Oh, okay.
So I think it's only the higher level content creators where they're just giving them. But yeah, cause even Jason reviewed it. I
Yeah,
think
oh, yeah, he
Tiny
did
Lips.
actually,
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah, he
yeah,
did.
yeah. But, man, I can't see him shooting digital at all. It's just
He actually had real high praise for that camera, which was shocking for me.
he did, but it just him shooting digital just doesn't it's like it breaks my
Yeah,
world or something, I don't know.
and the thing is, I feel the same way about it. But he shot digital in a lot of his episodes, a lot, especially his early ones, and it's phenomenal work, great work.
Yeah, and he's been shooting, his I didn't realize he has a Leica monochrome as well
Yeah.
that he's been shooting recently in a couple videos.
Yeah, did you watch his video he did in New York when he went to Coney Island recently?
I'm halfway through that one. I think that's another 2-hour one, right? Or an hour one? I can't
Y
yeah.
yeah.
I'm halfway through that one, yeah.
Man, those photos from the end. Oh, wait until you get to the end because those photos are like 10 out of 10. I would stop shooting film if I got those because I'm never gonna do better than that.
Yeah, no, he's got a great range, but it's funny, I love his, "Yeah, these are keepers. This is portfolio shots. This is terrible."
Yeah. I use the same organization system. Yeah, and I did it before I even discovered Jason's page, so I'm like, "Holy shit, this is why I like this guy." We're both cynical assholes all the time.
No, because I really like his motorcycle, trips, that he documents and stuff.
That cross country 6 weeks across America thing is what got me. I woke I was taking a nap on the couch, and I woke up, and there's this guy cynically talking about photography at me, and I'm like, "What the hell is this?" So I started it back over and ended up watching the whole thing. And then when my fiance got home, I was like, "You need to check this guy out." And I put it on, and then we watched it again. And I've probably watched it 6 or 7 times at this point.
That's kinda how, I don't know if are you familiar with Nick Carver?
I know the name.
Okay. My wife and I, he's one we enjoy as well. So, and he shoots film. So his are on panorama. On he's got the view the 6 by 17. Is that right? Sounds right? Maybe proportion and stuff around Orange County. But he started out like shooting the Alabama hills and stuff like that out in the desert. He really likes desert stuff. But he's really funny too.
You live in California then, right? That's what you said?
Yeah, it's outside of Sacramento.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
how far are you from the desert then?
The desert would be so it'd be more south, so that would be more east of LA-ish. So
Yeah.
it would take me probably a good 6, 7 hours to get.
Oh, yeah, that's a haul. Yeah, I'm shooting the desert this fall. In November, we're going out to Arizona, to the Grand Canyon, and we got some plans out there. But I'm planning on bringing all kinds of film and cameras and taking up too much space. So I'm just wondering how to shoot the desert at this point because I live in Michigan. There's no desert anywhere near here. I'm assuming it's like the sand dunes a little bit, but
I would suggest give some Nick Carver videos to watch, some of his older ones. Just maybe he might spark some ideas in you.
I'm writing that down because I've always wanted to see the American Southwest and never have. So I'm documenting it while I'm there.
Hot AF, dude. Hot
Yeah,
AF.
yeah. I think well, our average temperature in November is supposed to be 60 to 80, but I don't trust anything about the weather this year just because of how hot it's been up here already, how cold it's been other places. So who knows? We might end up in a dust storm or some shit like that. That'd be my luck.
Last summer we had 45 100 plus days here. Yeah. Yeah, it's because we're in the Central Valley, so in California, we cook, man. And it's so funny then because San Francisco is the exact opposite, right? Because when it's hot here, San Francisco will have all the fog and it's chill. Like it's so funny to watch the tourists because I was born and raised in the Bay Area, so it's funny to watch these tourists out here in the summertime walking across the Golden Gate Bridge in their shorts and t-shirts and it's foggy and it's just freezing. It's like, oh my god, it's so cold. 'Cause it's just totally. I mean, when the Giants, the baseball team used to play at a called Candlestick
Uh-huh.
Park for a night game in July, I would literally put on my ski gear. I would put on my parka, my ski gloves, two blankets, hat, because it was freezing. I mean, absolutely cold. So, um, but it's 100% different up here in the Central Valley.
Yeah.
So
I'm I'm kind of used to the cold because of where I live. It's because it's miserable from end of November through mid-March, just hellacious polar vortex nightmares.
yeah,
And I struggle with seasonal affective disorder, so I get crippling depression. Yeah.
yeah. My wife, same. My wife is the same. Yeah, she has a one of those lights that she will put on and stuff.
I call it my lizard light.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Because we
uh
lived in Boston for 5 years in the '90s, and so that was our these Californians' taste of real winter, you know. And that was boy, man, that is cold. I mean, -40 below with the wind chill. You know, you walk out and your nose hairs freeze, and it's just man, that's just weird. And then I remember, like, come March or April, it was like 40 degrees. I'm like, oh my god, it's t-shirt weather. You know, like 40 degrees feels really warm. You know, when it's like every day the high is 8. You know?
so I read your recent article about intention in street photography, that lecture you went to. Has that been changing the way you've been shooting, or have you not shot much since then?
It's only been
Yeah.
since last Saturday, so I haven't really had a chance to go out and really do that yet or put it into practice. Um, but it was just it was so weird the way how you can hear the same idea from different people, and all of a sudden, it just the way somebody says it finally gets through to you or something. That was the experience I had. It was just like this, "Wah."
Yeah, the light bulb finally.
The lights went on behind me and stuff. It's like, why? I mean, I've heard this by so many people, but it just clicked with me the way he was presenting it. Um, so I'm very curious to go out there and you know, like other street photographers will call what he was doing fishing. You know, where you find a good spot and you sit there and you wait. Which I get antsy. You know, man, if I'm in a spot for more than 10 minutes, man, I gotta move. I gotta move. But I do like, but I'm not very good at the moving and shooting stuff. So it's kind of this. I'm at cross purposes with myself. Um, so I think it's good now that I know if I find a good spot with good light, you know, just chill out and wait for, you know.
Wait for the opportunity to present itself.
Yeah, so I'm curious as to go out and do that again because I know old Sacramento, like I said, and other parts of Sacramento as well, pretty well. So, and it's just a matter of getting out there when the light, well, especially now summer's approaching, the only time you can really go out and shoot is in the morning, before the heat hits.
Yeah.
Um, because it'll be 95 by.
Oh man, you get some warmth out there.
Oh yeah. And then like it really hot, like you think, oh, go out in the evening, but the evenings, the ironic thing, like 5 and 6 p.m. is when it's the hottest. So like if it's supposed to be 110 that day, it's 110 at like
Oh
6.
no, unacceptable. I'd have one of those like air conditioning suits on.
And so, um, yeah, so there's like a window of temperature time that you can do it in. So that's why I kind of like black and white,
So
as well, because it didn't care about harsh light or anything. Because I actually enjoyed the harsh light because I like, I don't know if you know what Alan Schaller is.
it sounds familiar. I would probably know if.
He shoots really high contrast black and white street photography stuff, and so I really like shooting that way as well. Um, and so as evidence,
Yeah.
behind me.
Did you take that?
Hmm.
That's an excellent photo.
Thank you.
Was that along the Pacific?
Yeah, that's in north. That's a place called Irish Beach near Mendocino, so the northern coast, which is really cool up there. It's kind of like there's no crowds or anything because it's kind of hard to get to. And to drive there, you have to drive through the redwoods and stuff, which is really cool.
Yeah.
And they're just kind of small beach communities. And so the place we were staying had access to this. You have to have like you have to live in the area, or if you're staying in Airbnb, you have like this card that it'll let you in the gate. You can get down to this beach because it's kind of like a private beach, like a private
Yeah.
public beach. But you only have access to it if you live in the area.
You have to either take the water or get to it from one of those houses.
Yeah, exactly. And so my wife and I went down there, and I had my monochrome with me, and I was just firing away. And luckily, because I love it when they have the clouds, and for black and white, you gotta have the
Oh
clouds.
yeah,
So
because otherwise it's just blown out white.
yeah, yeah. So it's gonna be curious to me not have my monochrome with me, and I guess I'll just, when I get the urge, I'll just put in some Tri-X or something in my M6.
I've been thinking about picking up some Tri-X. I've never shot it, but I found a roll of it. I'm just buying bulk film at this point because I think prices are going to jump.
Yeah.
And I found a bulk roll for like $124, and I think I'm going to pick some up and use that for the photo project I got coming up. So
Oh, okay. I like T-Max as well. It's a little more
yeah,
contrasty.
I see that's something else I've never shot. My black and white experience has been HP5 and FOMO 400. Those are the two that I stuck with.
Oh, okay. I like
I love
HP5. Yeah.
HP5, but the price on it's insane.
Man, I still have a couple rolls of film Ferrania P30. Holy, I cannot figure out how to shoot. That film is tough to shoot with, man. You gotta, it is the contrast that is so extreme. It's, I can't, I still can't quite figure out how to shoot with it. It's a hard film to shoot with.
I'm that way with, of all the films that give me trouble, it's Fuji 400, the cheap
Oh,
stuff.
really?
I cannot dial that in. It's either always blown out or always underexposed. And I'm actually putting some through the A1 right now because I've put it through every camera except this, and I'm seeing if maybe the higher end camera will actually take care of it because it wasn't great in the Olympus, it wasn't great in the point and shoots, and I don't know if I got a bad batch, but I am struggling hard.
Is that you recently got the Canon? Is that right?
I've had it for like 6 months, but just repaired it. It had the cough where it would wheeze when it was firing, and then I oiled it. It kept doing it, and then I picked it up a month later, and it had stopped. So I'm not looking a gift horse in the mouth.
Yeah,
I'm just
right.
hoping it keeps working. But if it breaks, I'm buying another one. That's how much I like this Canon.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah, I was shocked.
Did you look at the Nikons as well? I'm just curious, like the F3 or anything like that? The F2?
I was looking at an F2 for a very long time. I almost bought one off my buddy, but the price wasn't right for me. I didn't want to spend $450 on it, and it was in great condition. He has a great camera collection and a freezer full of film. At this, he had to buy another freezer recently. I'm sorry, I went off on a tangent, but the F2 is the camera I would get if I were to go into Nikon. I just haven't pulled the trigger on a Nikon yet. I went with the OM1 instead.
It's so hard for me because it seems so silly now, but because when I started in '99, there was pretty much Canon or Nikon, and you either went down one road or the other. my friends were shooting Canon at the time, so I went down the Canon road, and so I still have this knee jerk reaction to Nikon even to this day. I mean, it's stupid and silly,
Yeah,
but
their new digital camera, that one with the global shutter on it.
the Z8, is that the
I
Z8?
think so. Yeah, it has the global shutter, dude. It's wild.
Everybody's switching, and a couple landscape photographers who were using the GFX system have switched over
Yeah,
to Nikon now. Yeah, yeah.
yeah.
So, and it's weird. I would say 80% of my students that I teach, they all have Nikons,
Oh yeah, it's the new in thing, I
and
think.
their menu systems, man. Because I don't use them, so it's hard for me to help them set up their camera because their menu system is totally just, especially the older ones like a D750.
Yeah.
I'd like go on YouTube and before my second lesson with this one kid because I had no idea how to just get the focus point to move.
Oh really?
And it turned out there was just this little lock switch next to the but the menu
It's just
button in the back.
one little switch through you for a loop.
Yeah, one little switch, and I'm sitting there spending 15 minutes in the menu system trying to figure it out.
I wanted to compliment one of your photos, by the way, that you posted semi recently. That well, two photos.
Uh huh.
The one of the people on the paddle boards
Oh,
that you posted, that one, and the one of the Engel and Volker's gas station.
yeah, yeah, and Truckee, yeah, both in Tahoe. Oh, interesting. Okay.
I thought the colors on it were phenomenal. Did you shoot that with your Leica?
So the I believe that first one in Tahoe, that was a few years ago. That either was the Fuji or my Leica M10 when I had it. I'm pretty sure maybe it was the M10. I don't know. But the Engel and Volkers, which is a real estate company, by the way, um, is was the M11P. Yeah, I mean the colors that come out of that thing are just insane. I really just love. They just hit me in the feels.
Oh yeah, I know exactly what you mean. As soon as I saw the colors on it, I was like, "Damn, those are good." I hate how good those are because sometimes I see a photo and the colors are so good that it makes me mad that my colors look like ass sometimes.
I kind of had that same feeling when I first got back my first roll of 250D. I was like, "Holy shit, this is good stuff."
Yeah, and you never realize how much a film is going to affect your photos until
Yeah,
you get used to shooting one film stock and then you shoot another one that's a little higher end maybe. And then you're just shocked by how much better it is. You're like, maybe I don't suck that bad. It was just the film I
right.
was using.
Because now when I like Portra 400 seems so grainy to me now compared to
Yeah.
the 250D. It's crazy.
So Portrait is one of those films where I would love to try it, but I don't like the grain that much. And the price tag, yeah, the price tag on it doesn't make sense to me.
I was like back when I was shooting 2019, 2020. I was shooting a lot of Lomography 800 because it was
Yeah.
cheap back then. Like that was the cheap film. And then when I started back up in 2024, I'm like, wait a minute, what? Why is it like $36
Yeah.
like or $50 for a roll of three now? What the hell happened since I've been gone? And I mean, they just shot because
It's all those YouTube influencers.
that was the cheap good film. Yeah, because I really like that film actually. I don't know if you shot any of that at all.
I did. I actually used one roll of it a while back, and I was not a huge fan. But maybe it was because I was
Oh, really?
early in my film journey. So maybe I have to give it another chance. My buddy has some stored in his freezer of crippling debt, so maybe
Oh my gosh, that's funny.
I'm not even kidding. The amount of money he must have wrapped up in that freezer terrifies me at this point. I'm like, man, how do you still have a house? Because I know how much is in that, and
Right, right.
but he's one of those guys who wheels and deals in film cameras, so he's always
Oh, okay.
buying, selling, trade. Like he just traded. He traded a Sony A7 III for a Vespa and another film camera that he flipped. Yeah, man.
Vespa.
I was like a
That's
Vespa.
hysterical,
I
man.
have an A7 III. I was interested in the Vespa.
Yeah, I have an A7R4. That's what I shoot my macro stuff with. But I don't use it for anything else. So I mean, just because I think like I said, like the Sony. I mean, that's a perfect camera. It's a great camera. It's just so boring to shoot with because it can do anything you
Yeah.
want it to do. I mean, that's how good it
Yeah,
is.
there's no challenge.
Right, there's no challenge at all with it. It's just fantastic. So if I was going to go and shoot like portraits or something, that's what I would use. For professional commercial work or something, that's what I would use. But as far as out and about on my own there's like no joy in shooting that.
I'm kind of on the fence about it because I haven't had the A7 IV all that long, but I shot with an A7 III for several years. And the A7 IV for video specifically is phenomenal. I have loved every bit of shooting video with the A7 IV, but for professional work, it's great. It's good for portraits and stuff. But like you said, it does get boring to where you know what's going to be in focus, you know what's going to be composed well, and there's just I don't know. I want my photography to be more expensive by using outdated technology, I guess, at this point.
Yeah, yeah, exactly, exactly. Because I got into Sony. I used to have a Sony. Oh, I still have it somewhere in my closet. NEX7.
Oh yeah.
That's back when Sony was just getting into it, and that was. I mean, I took that thing to Europe, and then that I have some great pictures still with that camera, and I really enjoyed using that camera. The menu system was like, holy shit, this is terrible. But that camera itself, like, I'm really big on the shutter sound. Like, that's a big thing for me. Like, I had a Fuji X100F, and I didn't like it. It took great pictures, but I hated the click sound, and like silent, I can't do full silent. That there's just it ruins the experience for me. I'm kind of weird that way.
No, I agree.
Like the film cameras, that's why I like film cameras because the clicks on almost all of them are really good.
Yeah, the click on my Spotmatic is by far my favorite film shutter I have ever heard.
Oh, really?
Oh yeah, it's something about those old Pentaxes, man. Like the K1000, the Spotmatics.
Hmm. I have a K1000.
Those just the way they just it's they call it the shutter slap because it really does
Yeah.
sound like somebody's
And that
hitting
mirror,
something.
yeah, it's just slapping in there, man.
I love it.
Yeah, that was my gateway camera back into film in 2019. Was I got a K1000
Yeah.
with was it a 50 millimeter lens? I think it was. I don't know. And whatever it came with it,
Was it the Super Tack lens? Is that what it was?
Something like that. Yeah. I mean, full manual. So that was. And my first roll, I remember like it was time to rewind it. It's like, why won't it rewind? Because I totally forgot about the button on the bottom, and so I totally tore the film.
I did that in my Yashica. I did that in the last 2 or 3 months with that camera, and it broke my heart.
Yeah. Yeah, I know. It's like, oh, it could have been.
I got like half the roll developed, so it wasn't terrible. There were some decent photos, but it's a rangefinder, so I assumed my photos were going to suck anyways.
Right. That's funny. Yeah, so you probably wouldn't like the Texas Leica then, because that's definitely rangefinder-ish.
Mm-hmm. Well, I've been looking. Sadly, I've been looking at a rangefinder, the Kiev. It's a.
Is that the Russian version of the Leica thing?
Yeah, because they're dirt cheap at this point, and I've seen a lot of work from them that are really impressive, but I don't know, man. They're so hit or miss because some of them have really high reviews. They have to be right from the right series, the right year, and I don't know if I want to go through all that and just end up with another paperweight.
Soviet-made camera,
because
man,
I definitely got some.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Well, they make some great lenses. The Jupiters, I think the Helios are from over there. So there's some phenomenal lenses that came from the Soviet era, but the prices on them have jumped so much because
YouTubers.
YouTubers, and so it's a combination of the YouTubers and Hollywood actually starting to use some of these old Soviet lenses for films and stuff. I think Dune was shot on either the Helios or the Jupiter. I can't remember which one it was, but
I think you're right. The Helios clicks with me when you said that. Yeah, that sounds about right. That dude, that cinematographer, that dude is insane.
Villanueva I think that's his name. Yeah.
Well, that's the director, but the DP.
Yeah, I can't remember the DP's
I can't remember his name, but he is insanely good, man.
Yes. The composition and everything from that cinematographer or DP is just holy shit. There's some people who work in film and video that their composition just pops out at you as soon as you see it. Like Wes Anderson's another one of them. You can look at it and know who was in charge of shooting that. Yes. It's crazy how a random image can tell you who was behind that image.
Right.
So it's just, I don't know. I want to get to that point where somebody sees something I do and they're like, Justin Allen shot that. Like, how'd you know? Yeah, because it looks like shit.
So hard to get there with so many photographers out there now.
It is. How are you dealing with the struggles of competing with other photographers?
Not. I guess I think Substack has helped me a lot with just saying fuck it, and I'm just going my own way. Um, and I think I don't know if it's just because of the writing is therapeutic. Writing about it is therapeutic, and has really let me embrace just like okay, whatever. I shoot what I shoot, and I have to like it, and if I like it and nobody else likes it, that's why I've been putting some pictures up there, like in the past, like the one yesterday with the circumcision this boy's picture. I would put that like when I first
Yeah.
took that, I put that on Instagram. Nothing.
Yeah, I think that's just Instagram at this point.
The boy's face. I was like, this is therapy. Like, what the fuck are you talking about?
Oh, I thought it was. The boy's face looking at that.
But I would take it down back then, because it wasn't getting likes and stuff, so I took it down.
Yeah, if you like it, you like it. And if not, maybe there's something down the road they'll like.
And it's hard, like, I'll bring up Nick Carver again. Like, he doesn't follow other photographers on Instagram because he can't deal with, oh shit, I can never be as good as that. So he follows like artists, and things like that instead.
Yeah.
Graphic designers, things like that. So I think we all have our the comparison thing is really tough in photography. I mean,
It
I remember.
is.
I don't know if you were ever on 500 pics back in the day, 500 PX.
I don't know. I don't think so.
It was a kind of like there was Flickr and then there was 500 PX, and like this was back like when like all these landscapes, like just picture gorgeous postcard stuff, and it was just made you feel like just so inadequate,
Yes,
because they're so gorgeous stuff, and it's just I'm getting over that now. Finally, I mean, it takes a long time.
it does. Because that imposter syndrome is strong.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I don't know if you ever get over it 100%, but man. So, but I guess I would say that's a constant struggle, actually.
Yeah, I agree. Imposter syndrome is something that came up a lot on the podcast actually, because I'll compliment somebody's work and they're like, "Thanks, I don't really think I'm that good," and I don't. It might just be an artist thing. Any artist is gonna struggle with imposter syndrome because they don't think their work has progressed from where they were until they actually look back on their previous work. And a lot of people don't like to look back on that work. I know I'm one of them. I'll look at something that pops up on my Facebook memories or something. I'm like, "Oh no, we gotta delete that immediately."
That's funny. That's funny. I'm actually because it's weird because I'm going back through my after my experience at that class last Saturday. I'm going back to my old catalog and see, are there any gems or anything, that with looking at it with a different eye now, and I'm not finding a lot, but I found some. Um, but it's interesting how tastes change, and I could tell what I was into back then versus I don't shoot that way anymore and things like that. Um, but yeah, I think getting distance from your work is good because you can look at it with a new eye. Like this behind me. This is not the. Originally, I liked a different version of this. Because there's different ones with this line,
Yeah, with the surf.
the foam and stuff. And for a couple of years, I had a different version. And when I went back and I found this one, I was like, "What the fuck?"
Yeah.
This is
Yeah, I picked the wrong one.
right, exactly. Yeah, that's my biggest thing is I think I'm a terrible self editor as far as not processing, but as far as picking out what's good and what's
Yeah.
not.
I've done that too, where I'll pick what I think is the best photo, and then a client will look at the other ones and be like, well, this one right here is better. I like this one so much better because of this and that. Or another photographer will do it.
Yeah,
And I'm like, I guess. I thought that one was trash. And then I'll post it, and people love that one. So it's
right. Yeah,
beauty is in the eye of the beholder, and sometimes the eye of that beholder might be a little bit blind or jaded.
right, right. Yeah, yeah. No, I think my most popular ones usually are not my favorite ones.
Which kind of hurts your feelings at the same time. You're like, why this one?
It totally does. Yeah,
You people don't know art.
right. It's like you people are morons. This is a great shot.
Speaking of other photographers, how's the photography scene out in California? Do you have other photographers you shoot with?
It's really strong well, I guess it depends on what, like if we're talking street photography, like San Francisco is really strong street photography
Hmm.
community. Although I'm like 56, so a lot of these are like the hipster 30-year-old Like I
Yeah.
said in that one article with the yeah, exactly, with the beanies and stuff like that, and they seem to be since I don't live there, I just go down like, there's a Leica store down there, and they'll have a lot of events and, lectures and photo walks and stuff like that, so it's a lot of it through that store, and there seems to be kind of a tight-knit community of the people who live down there, so I do feel a little bit of an outsider when I'm down there, but, um but everybody's very, uh, very into it down there. Sacramento is more diverse, um, because it's a smaller city, so there are some street photographers up here, not a lot. Um, there is like a Facebook group called Sacramento Photographers that I will do photo walks with every couple of weeks. They have one, and so I'll do that every once in a while, depending on. They started at different spots around the area. Um, so that's pretty cool, but it's a very diverse type of photography, wildlife, a lot of wildlife up here, um, which I didn't like. There's a lake close to me that has bald eagles, which I didn't even know until like 5 years ago. I was like, "What?" I had no fucking idea. Like, I thought bald eagles were only up in Alaska, so I had no idea. Do you have them in Michigan?
Oh
Yeah.
yeah, that
Okay.
we had some that. So I live out in Lapeer County, which is very
Uh
rural,
huh.
and we have 40 acres of land,
Oh, okay.
and there was a bald eagle that nested in an
Mm.
old hunting shed out back,
Oh
and this was
shit.
before I was really into
Yeah.
photography, but it would swoop down at our dog
Hmm.
sometimes, and like I think it was just messing with him. It wasn't actually trying. It was just be like, whoa, it's
Right.
just
Right.
like
Right.
up and out.
And those things are big, man.
Hell yeah, those are big. Turkey buzzards, we have a lot of those too, and those are massive.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah. Do they do the thing where they stand up and they dry their wings by putting their arms up? It's
yeah.
creepy as hell, man. They stand on our. We have an old barn on the property, and they just stand on top of the barn, and it looks like they're praying to some invisible god. It freaks me out every single time they're out there.
So yeah, so like a lot of wildlife photography and then landscape because I mean, there's nothing else out here, so, so um, and so when I want to do really good street stuff, I'll go down to San Francisco.
Do you do that often?
Not necessarily, no. My daughter does live down there, so we go visit her. Um, we'll stay in a hotel like in the city, and then I'll walk around.
Yeah, it's. I've been trying to get away from the walk around without a goal thing because I find I don't shoot enough photos, and it's kind of like being. Do you ever get stuck in the mud and you're just spinning your wheels and you're not sure which direction you're even going with your photography?
I feel that's my modus operandi, my default, actually. I feel that's my default. I feel like I have the need I need to go out and shoot, but then, the choices are so I'm overwhelmed with, what's it? Choice paralysis or whatever, decision paralysis, um, that I'll just, "Oh, I guess I won't go out." So I just default to not doing anything.
I'm the opposite. I have so few choices that I end up not doing anything because I'm bored by it. Because if the choices are either drive to Detroit, drive to Flint,
Which is how far for you?
that's about 40 minutes.
Oh, okay, so not too bad, okay.
No, it's not too bad. And Detroit's cool, but everybody in Michigan shoots Detroit because it's the only interesting city besides maybe Grand Rapids.
Right, right, right.
There's not much of anything cool in the lower peninsula aside from Detroit. So if I want to do something cool, I have to go to the upper peninsula for landscape, and that takes 3 4 hours to get anywhere remotely above the bridge.
That's why, like, I
So
really enjoy Giles' work because he's very, just around the house and like just on his runs and stuff. So he's kind of inspired me to do more of that kind of more micro type photography or more, dial into closer up things and instead of sweeping urban landscapes or whatever.
it's funny you say that. I've been doing the same thing, or I'm trying to focus more locally. I have this. So the project I'm working on is it's a chestnut farm that my fiance's uncle owns, and I want to document the whole season of him working on the chestnut farm. And
Oh,
then
cool.
they do this 2 or 3 weekends in September or October where they do this big release, and everybody comes out and buys all these chestnuts. And I want to document that. And the radius for my project is within 5 miles of my house. So I want it to be
Oh,
something
wow.
local to my township.
That's cool.
I don't know if it's going to be interesting or not, but
I like this.
it'll be something different.
I think it would be. Do they, is it like olives? Do they shake the trees to get them off, or
The chestnuts fall off on their own, and then you have to.
They do.
Yeah, but they come off in these extremely sharp, pointed husks. So it's yeah, it almost looks like a rambutan, the fruit, if you know what those are.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
so they look like that, but they're big and they hurt, man. Like if one falls on you, it will stick in you. It's like they're giant burrs, pretty
Ow.
much. But it's really cool seeing people from all different ethnicities come out to this chestnut farm in the middle of rural Michigan because they're big overseas in like Macedonia, Greece, especially in Asian communities, huge in Asian communities. There was a woman there from Egypt last year who had the most
Wow.
gorgeous hair I've ever seen in my life, and I didn't have my camera. And I've been thinking about it ever since.
Bring your camera wherever you go.
And I am usually one of those guys. We just happened to stop after I picked my son up from school and I didn't have my camera. But this year I'm going to document the whole thing, I think. So that's my big photo project for the year, on top of the podcast and my normal YouTube stuff and who knows what else, music videos.
Oh, what music videos?
I work for a video
Oh,
production
you
company.
work.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Oh, cool.
And we shoot music videos. The last one we did and worked on was for this band called Finality from Detroit. It has members of some relatively successful other metal bands that regrouped into something new.
Oh, okay.
And we did, there's this band that's coming up right now. They're called Horizon Theory. They're a rock metal band, but we've filmed all their music videos, and they're huge right now. They're starting to really get some success, so it's cool seeing that.
Oh, good. It's nice to have some rock and
Yeah.
roll out there.
Oh yeah, and it's good to see people actually playing their instruments
Oh
too.
my gosh,
So
yeah, yeah.
it's, yeah, 'cause there's a lot of them that don't.
Well, like there's this one guy on YouTube I found. I can't remember his name, but he'll analyze like vocals, to see if they're
Yeah.
auto-tuned or whatever. It's very interesting. Like especially a lot of modern, the pop singers, they'll do kind of half and half of live, half auto-tune stuff, and so.
Yep.
Because it's got to be perfect. But I mean, the imperfection
Oh
is
yeah.
what's part about watching a live show.
Yeah, because if I wanted to just hear it be perfect, I would have listened to the album. I want to hear
Right,
some
exactly.
emotion behind it.
Right. Unless you're Rush, of course, and you can play it that good.
Yeah, man. I was listening to Rush the other day. It came on my shuffle, and my son's like, "Who is this?" Because he's kind of starting to get into music, like actually getting
Okay,
into
yeah.
real music. He joined band. He's gonna be 11 this year, so
Okay,
he's
yeah,
kind of
perfect
reaching
time,
that point. Yeah, he's getting his own tastes and things instead of just being a small clone of me.
Yeah.
Yeah, and my 13-year-old daughter has no interest in anything I enjoy whatsoever besides being far away from me. You know how it is. You have a daughter, you said.
Oh,
So
yeah.
yeah,
I have 2 daughters. Yeah.
did the Oh, you have 2 of them? Oh shit.
Oh yeah.
You survived?
Oh yes.
Man.
Enjoy those teenage years,
Dude, she started her teenage years at 8 years old and it has not let up. It's just she has eaten my soul. I am dead inside.
And it's not just it's the other girls. Girls are vicious, man.
Dude, they're so mean.
Those preteen or tween girls and early teenage girls. Wow, it is brutal. Absolutely brutal.
I got this jacket. It's a corduroy white jacket. I knew it was lame when I got it, but I really liked it.
Yeah.
And she saw me wearing it. I wore it 2 days ago, and she goes, "Holy shit!" See, my 13-year-old daughter's like, "Holy shit! Where'd you find that? A dead body?" And I'm like, "I like my jacket."
You're not going to go out in public with me on that wearing that,
Yeah.
are you?
And I wore it to her. I think I wore it to her volleyball game, and she's like, "Don't tell anybody you know who I am. You're not here for me. Say it's somebody else."
As boys, though, I don't know how any boy lives past 18.
Oh, I have no
All the
idea.
stupid shit we do as boys, man. Boys, we're so stupid.
Oh yeah, man.
I remember the shit we used to do as teenagers. Just so stupid.
I lit myself on fire so many times and somehow don't have any
Yeah.
scars from it. Well, I grew up in the era of Jackass. So
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I was
yeah,
making
that's
terrible
funny.
decisions. I remember getting in trouble for paintballing somebody's car and trailer as they drove by.
Ooh,
And I
yeah.
was probably 12 when we did it.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
yeah.
We would throw dirt clogs at passing cars.
Yeah.
And then one guy stopped and fucking chased us. I'm like, oh shit.
Yeah, we didn't expect this.
Yeah, exactly.
We were doing it from a
exactly.
cornfield.
Yeah. Oh my god, that's terrible.
One game that my mom taught us this game, and it's not a game, it's trying to break your own neck, is you climb to the top of a pine tree and you throw out a blanket over top the branches, and then you just
Yeah.
jump onto the blanket and thud all the way to the ground.
Oh my god.
Yeah, and I'm like, Mom, why would you show us how to do this?
Right.
It's,
Yeah, you would think, yeah, that would be the thing that mom would not want you to be doing.
yeah, but she's like, we had so much fun doing this as kids. I'm like,
Oh my gosh.
do you guys have brain damage? Because I think I have a concussion from this shit.
Right, right. That's funny.
Maybe that brain damage has influenced a lot of my choices in life, like becoming a photographer.
Yeah, but there's so much money in photography.
Yeah, so much of giving that shit away.
Yeah,
It's
exactly,
exchanging the
exactly.
wrong direction.
I mean, it's just like anything, right? You got the only way you make money is by selling it to other photographers, right? Or selling workshops and lessons and stuff like that. So,
That's exactly what it is.
I mean, I couldn't sell a print to save my life, man.
Well, I've sold a couple since I started Substack, but I sold a few through YouTube, and of course my mother bought some because she's supporting. She has no idea what a podcast is,
Yeah,
but
my daughter's like the only one who bought when I did my big launch last year, and I took like Scott French's course, and like, oh, okay, I'll do. I really got into it. My daughter ended up being the only one that actually bought one. I had several friends. Oh, I said people, oh my god, I'm totally gonna buy one. I'm oh, great, but nobody ever pulls the trigger. Yeah,
I'll get one when I get paid, they say.
yeah, yeah,
And it's
something
like
like
they
that.
still haven't been paid yet because they're photographers too, and photographers don't make money. I saw this study that said if you want to sell prints as a photographer, host a physical art show
Yeah, I can see that.
and have only one copy of each print, unless it's just the little paper ones.
Yeah,
So get a couple big ones blown up on maybe the canvas and stuff, and you're far more likely to sell stuff that way than opposed to online.
and not have all the 8x10s down in the bin and
Yeah.
stuff like that. Yeah,
Yeah, I would probably have a couple 5x7s, but I've been thinking about hosting a local like art gallery kind of thing because somebody just opened one in my small township, which shocked me. The only businesses in my small town are the post office, a chiropractor's office, and a general store. We just got a Dollar
and a
General.
McDonald's.
Nope, not even that.
Not even a
There's not a
McDonald's.
restaurant or a gas station in my town. So
Oh
it's
my
it's
gosh,
one
dude.
stoplight, very tiny small township. So I might try to host something like that because they have little events in the summer. There's an old mill that they open up
Wow.
a couple weekends. So maybe I'll do that. I don't know. I'm still exploring my options as far as trying to sell prints goes, but I think that'd be a good community outreach thing where, oh, well, do you shoot anything besides landscapes? And I'm like, I'll shoot anything if there's money involved. So
Right,
just,
right. That's funny. Yeah.
do you do any? I was gonna ask if you do any paid work like portraits and stuff.
I when I started out, I did, and then, man, I get so flustered, during those things, man. Like all my knowledge just goes out the window. I don't know what it's really weird. So I've never had a. I don't know how you relax doing those things, or maybe it's bad to relax. I don't know because then you get complacent. I don't know, but I tried that, and then then mostly it just fell into teaching private lessons is what I fell into. So, but man, if I have to explain the exposure triangle one more time, man.
See, I never had it explained to me. I just learned the hard way by being a dumbass with a camera. I'm like, oh, okay, this works. And then eventually I did watch a YouTube video.
I'm not sure how much they like me as a teacher because I'm more of a like I do 2 or 3 lessons. Like I don't want to string them along for like multiple lessons. Like, look, I'll show you the basics, but the only way you're going to learn, you have to go out there and shoot yourself, and you have to make mistakes, and you have to learn from them. And then maybe in a month or two you can come back, and then we can maybe do stuff to advance to the next level, or if you need questions or whatever. But they never come back after that. So I think that they either figure it out that they do have to work out on their own, or they find another teacher.
Photographers can't be afraid of making an ass of themselves at some point because it's going to happen. You will make an ass of yourself, whether it be
Right.
through a bad
Right.
picture or bad advice or just dropping your camera. Something bad is going to happen. And I have never been somebody that's afraid of making an ass of myself. I make an ass of myself constantly, but you have to use it as a learning opportunity as opposed to just being like, well, I'm done because I made a fool of myself. So there's a lot of being headstrong.
I really liked I tried to do, like 2017, 18-ish, I tried to do documentary family photography, which I actually really like because I'm really good at candid stuff. I'm not good at the posing. I don't know, the posing, the fixed lights, and all, and just it's just not my thing. But you put me in a situation where I'm taking candids, I can take really good photos. So it really appealed to me. But man, nobody wanted to hire me. Nobody wanted to, because it was kind of new at that point. And I think it's still kind of new. It's still nobody really knows about it. You spend for 4 hours a day with the family just to take their normal life, and um, just a lot of people want just the formal portraits or something like that. They don't want this other stuff. So, and I think because I'm a big guy, I think there's probably a little something that has to do with that as well. A lot of the other photographers who are doing this were women, so I'm kind of screwed
Yeah,
on that point as well.
women here that are in photography are doing well with the documentary style shoots right now. I have noticed a lot of them
Yeah,
coming out lately,
yeah.
and they look great. They're doing great work. But I know nobody would ever willingly let me into their home to do documentary style because I look like a criminal, dude.
Right,
I'm covered in
exactly.
tattoos. And I'm just like, let me in. I got a camera,
Yeah, can you come do our maternity shoot?
right? I'm just like, hang on, let me hit my vape. I'll be in a minute.
Right.
I actually really like family stuff.
Yeah, same here. That's like my favorite thing to shoot is candid stuff. That's why I think I'm attracted to street is because I really like
Yeah,
candid photography. Like, my family members know, like they know, are we supposed to look at you or not? Because I'll yell at them like, don't pose. I just want to
yeah.
take a picture.
I've started doing a kind of blend between posed and candid for my family shoots. What I'll do is I'll kind of put them in a general pose and start talking to them, and then they'll relax when you start talking to them, and then that's when I'll shoot them. So because they'll kind of loosen up and they'll just be kidding around
It's a
back
good
and forth with
idea.
each other.
Right.
So I try to make it a lot less formal than I would for headshots or professional photos.
Right.
It's worked out really
Right.
well because I have a lot of property around me and I have a lot of state land around me. So I can just be like, let's go wander in the woods and see what happens. And I've gotten some great photos. So I'll walk ahead of them or behind them a bit and I'll turn around and be like, all right, everybody together. And they'll just be like, ah, and just, it works great for me. They kind of pose themselves that way. It's more of a natural feel as opposed to like you're getting funeral portraits taken.
I have I have like a personal project that I've been going on for years that it's like one of those things like would anybody ever be interested in this? So I call it from the couch. So I'll have my camera with me and then if something, it's usually just a lot of dog and cat photos or family members interacting with them or each other, So it's not very interesting to other people. It's interesting to me. But that's what that I call it from the couch, and every month I have a bunch of photos from that. So I don't know, and it goes back to like 2017.
No, I think that's interesting. I think you should do an article on that.
I mean, it's more just like capturing candid. It's just capturing candid family stuff. But
And I'm bad at that. I'm so bad at capturing candid family stuff because I'm a stickler for composition, and a lot of times family stuff's not composed well. So if I get this picture and it's like, oh, there's my family, but it's not composed well, delete.
a piece of advice from a parent who has grown kids: make sure, as a photographer, make sure you get lots of pictures with you and your kid,
Yeah,
and with you in the picture.
yeah, I struggle with that.
Because I have a dearth of like there's few and far between of me and my daughters, because I'm always the one taking the picture.
Yeah, and my fiance is terrible at taking pictures. I can give her my Sony, and somehow it looks worse than like an old Nokia phone picture.
My gosh,
I'm like, what are you doing?
yeah, it is interesting, isn't it? Yeah, because I remember because I did take a workshop with Alan Schaller, uh, and we would be in the same spot, the exact same spot, take picture of the same thing, and he would come out with some mind blowing picture, and everybody else's crap. It's just like
That's the
so
experience.
that is. Yeah, yeah, yeah. So I'm a big thing on the whole. It's a photographer thing. That not the camera, obviously.
Yes. Do you get caught up in gear acquisition syndrome?
Oh my god, yeah, yeah,
Where if you get this piece, it's gonna motivate you to actually go out and shoot this.
yeah, yeah. I mean heck, my M11P, that was it, right? So, oh yeah, if I just have that, then I can go out and get that
Yeah,
finished.
that's all you need. I promise.
I'm not as bad as I used to be, but I like gear. I like people. I like to boo-hoo it about, but I do watch the videos that talk about gear.
Yeah, it's not about the gear.
Except, well, certain ones like that, not the. like when a new camera comes out, it depends. So, like some are very selly and like, oh, this is the
Yeah.
best one yet. I don't like those.
I don't like the clickbait.
But the dudes that'll not talk about the technical aspect, but more like what it's like to shoot with it. That's
Yes.
those are the ones I'll watch.
The actual real world experience as opposed to
Yeah.
reading you the instruction manual.
Yeah, exactly. And this
Yeah.
has 35.6 megabytes and the dynamic range is 14 stops. And it's like, I don't really care about any of that. So
Yeah, I want to know how it does.
any modern camera is good enough.
And a lot of people get caught up on it. It's intimidated.
The film camera.
Yeah, oh yeah. It's film cameras, I've discovered that it's more about the glass than the body.
Yeah. Oh, 100%.
Especially moving from like a Spotmatic, which does have decent super tack glass, but moving to the FD glass for this Canon has been insane.
Yeah. I was gonna say, I bet you there's some interesting old lenses you can put on that thing that give you some really wild stuff.
The problem is that they have gotten popular for video, and
Oh shit, video, really?
they're rehousing them and using like the autofocus systems to try to get more cinematic look. Somebody did a video at some point and they're rebuilding these old Canon lenses and using them for music videos, short films, probably full length features at this point.
Oh wow.
Yeah. So a lot of those lenses are being rebuilt. Any lenses, really, the Helios, the old Canons, the old Jupiters, they're being put in new housing and then used as cinema lenses. And there's a huge market for it.
Huh. You get the Tarantinos of the world that only shoot film and want those things. Yeah.
Did you
Wow.
see, do you know Bad Flashes? Caleb Newman?
Is it Caleb? You said? I only know him from Jason's videos, but does he have his own channel and stuff?
Yeah, yeah, it's called Bad Flashes.
Okay, I've not watched him. I
Yeah,
probably
and
should,
he
but
seems like a super. Oh
he's
yeah,
pretty
he
funny
seems like
too.
such a nice guy too. From all everything I've heard from anybody who's talked to him says he's extremely nice. But he just shot a short film project on 16. I think it's 16 millimeter film,
Oh, okay.
and it's super cool. And Jason is the star of it. So
Oh my god. Okay,
it's
I'll look
called
that up
I
then.
think it's called The Lonely Photographer. I thought it was really cool that he actually shot and produced his own video on film because you don't see a lot of people that aren't in Hollywood doing that. They're all
Right,
shooting
right.
digital. So I just thought it was and it looks great.
Can you develop? Is it developing movie film is the same as just developing normal film at home? But I mean, there's so much of it though. Does it have to be? Do you have to send that out
I
essentially,
would
or
assume you have to send that out. I can develop cinema film at home. Like that 500T is cinema film. So I just have to do a pre-step.
I mean, yeah, but that's like 24 frames. But if you have like hundreds of feet of it,
I think theoretically you could, but you'd have to have the right equipment for it. And I don't know if that'd be cost preventative.
and shooting a film with that 250D would be awesome though.
Yes. There's so many good looking films shot on Vision 3 stock. It's what Star Wars, Oppenheimer, all of those were shot on Kodak Vision film, whether it be
Wow.
250D, 500T, 800T.
Right.
It's man, there's so many gorgeous things you can do with film, but
Would they mix up the on a one film? Would they mix up the film stock as well, or do they try to tend to stay with one to consistent look?
I don't know the answer to that. I'd be interested in finding it out because
Like for night shots versus
yeah, I'm assuming they would have to. They'd have to do that and just balance it for tungsten lighting for being outside is my guess. They'd probably
I
blend them.
mean, they would have the remjet layer on, right? Because they don't want the halation, I'm assuming.
And that's a whole other thing is removing remjet. That it's not hard, it's just inconvenient.
You said you found like a baking soda or some home remedy for that or something?
Yeah, just baking soda and 100-degree water, and it takes it right off. You just agitate it for 2 minutes. It comes right off, and then it's 11 more minutes to develop your film. Yeah, so it's nothing crazy. I thought it was going to be so hard to develop film when I first started, and now I'm like, why does anybody send their film out? This is crazy.
Yeah. Well, yours was the first video I watched going, huh, maybe that I could do that.
Oh,
I
it's
don't
so
know.
easy.
Because you make it look so easy.
Yeah, it is.
And I have a sous vide already because that's how I cook like my
Oh
steaks
yeah,
and stuff.
that's what I want to use mine for. I haven't yet, but I'm gonna because it never touches
Oh,
it.
I highly
It never
recommend it.
touches the chemicals, so I can do it. But yeah, my whole development kit is in one little Tupperware thing, and it doesn't take up much room. It doesn't take me long to do. The hardest part is finding a dark room to actually load your film onto your reel. That's the hardest part.
Yeah, see, that's my yeah. But I didn't realize that you could because I'm thinking back to my 7th grade days where there was no, like, you had to wrap it around manually, and I can never get it spooled correctly, but the thing you were using looks like you can just feed it into the one side and it
Yeah,
just
hang on.
spools.
I have one right here. I'll grab it real quick. Ugh. Ugh. Oh, it's this little guy right here. And you just feed your film through to these two bearings. I don't know if you can see them, these bearings right here. And then
And then bam,
it
bam, bam.
automatically,
Okay.
yeah, and then it automatically catches and
And it
pulls it in.
spools it.
And sometimes it'll pop off,
Okay.
and sometimes you got to respool it.
But
But
you're doing this
if as
blind
long
in
as
the
you're,
bag though, right?
yeah, well, I do it blind under a quilt in my
Oh,
bathroom.
okay,
But
okay.
theoretically, it'd be in a dark bag.
Okay.
Or when I get my dark room actually built, I'll do it in there.
Like, are we talking, like, can you go into a closet, but you have to put something underneath the door? Like, are you talking it has to be pitch dark? Like, no
Dark
light
black.
at all, period?
I avoid as much light as I can with what I have. If I could do it in complete darkness, I would, because it will kill your film real fast.
Even a red light would do it.
With black and white, yes, because black and white is sensitive to all light, whether it be red, blue, anything like that. And you'd have to Google to see which films are light safe. I just do them all in the darkness at this point. And now, when I first started, it'd take me 20, 30 minutes to try to figure out how to get this film on the roll. And now I'm in and out in less than 5. It's the learning curve is steep at first, but once you figure it out,
I would probably just burn a cheap roll, just to practice, obviously in the light, and then yeah.
that's what I recommend. So a lot of people go the route of trying the monobath first for developing their black and white film, which would be like Cinestill's DF96, which is the devil.
Right, right, right.
It will betray you so fast. But it made me comfortable with developing it first. And now I use Rodinol, which is a 2-step process. And that takes 15 minutes to develop a roll of black and white for me. And the results are so much better. It's so much cheaper than doing it on my own. Because I think I have $20 invested in my black and white developing kit.
Wow, that's it.
And I'm not even halfway through it. Not at all. So everything you've seen on Substack has been developed with this same bottle
Wow.
of chemical.
Are you kidding me?
And that's
Look
as
at
far
that.
as no. It's
Can
super easy to do.
reuse it or?
No, this is a one shot. So
Oh, it is? Okay.
you can reuse them, but I would not reuse this. I would use this as a one shot. So I use 290 milliliters of water and 300 milliliters of water and 6 milliliters of Rodinol, and mix it, and then
Wow,
develop
okay.
it. But the fixer can be reused for a certain amount of time, and that'll last forever. That'll last me years at this point.
Is it developer, fixer, and then water? Is that right? Is that the order?
Yeah, developer, fixer, water is all I do.
And does it have to be like distilled water?
I do my final rinse with distilled water. Other than that, it's just straight out of the tap. And I have well water, so the minerals are terrible.
Right, right.
If I lived in the city, I probably wouldn't use distilled water, but because I live where I live, I'm using the distilled to do the final rinse. And something I will do, and I know I'm going to get flack for this, even though I know a ton of other photographers do it, is, like the dishwasher material or the dishwasher liquid you can put in your dishwasher that keeps spots
Yeah.
from appearing.
Yeah, the rinse dry or whatever. Yeah.
I use some of that rather than photo flow on my.
Oh, interesting.
So there's no water spots that develop on my negatives. So I do a final rinse.
That's pretty smart.
I'll do like a minute rinse in that, dump it out, and then rinse that off with distilled water. Then I just hang it to dry, and it takes, I don't know, half hour to dry. Then you'd have to get into the scanning part, but that's a whole other argument.
That I have stuff that I've because I would use my A7R4 to scan. So
Oh yeah, I'm assuming you probably have a macro lens or something like that.
yeah, I have the. Is it the 90 or the 100? I think whichever that thing is.
Yeah, I wish I had the 90. I'm using a 50 with extension tubes.
Just a second.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a great lens, man.
Is it the G Master or is it the standard
Yeah.
Sony? Oh, okay. Yeah. See, I don't. Too rich for my blood.
I really like the. I like that you push pull between manual and autofocus. I really like that.
I've been looking at them recently, the 90, but the lenses I really like for my Sonys are actually Viltrox. Have you ever used one of their,
No.
dude? I I have the Sony 1.8, the 50 1.8, which is like the nifty 50 from Sony. And then I've shot with the 50 G Master on video shoots. I've shot with the 35 and the 20. And my favorite lens that I own is the 85 from Viltrox. It's that thing is a monster. It's so sharp, and I say just, but I got the 28 millimeter pancake lens. Have you seen that?
No,
Okay,
no.
hang on. I'm gonna show you how skinny this damn thing is because
All right, yeah, yeah.
one of my beefs with street photography and using my Sony was how bulky it is to carry around. Yeah,
Wow, holy shit, that looks like a camera cap.
and that's what I use it for a lot of the time, which is why I don't have the back on it because I had it sitting on my other camera. But this thing, it's fixed aperture at 4.5. Yeah, it's fixed aperture at 4.5. But that it's sharp.
Okay.
It is a sharp lens, and it cost $100.
Wow. Okay.
And I think the 85 goes for like $299, $399 right now, depending on which one you get. And man, they're putting out such crazy good
You
lenses.
said it's a 1.8 or what is that?
That the 85 is a 1.8. The one I just showed you is a 28 4.5, and I have nothing but praise for Viltrox products. I wish I could
Okay.
get sponsored by Viltrox because they have a new.
Where's that made?
I couldn't even tell you that. Probably China. I'm assuming probably China, but it's.
It's like a TT Artisan competitor.
They crush TT Artisans. It's not even close. Let me see here. Made in China. Yeah. But they released this line called the Air, and they have a 35 1.4 that probably destroys mine. I have a Zeiss 35 1.4, and I'm thinking about selling that to get the Viltrox. And I'm using my Zeiss now to film this for the podcast. So if I'm willing to do that, that's saying a lot because Zeiss glass is phenomenal, and I prefer Viltrox to it.
Zeiss on Sony's are like, the match made in heaven type of thing.
Yeah, and this is like the T-Star Distagon 35. So
Okay, yeah.
it's one of the ones everybody wants, and I got it for a steal a few years ago, and then some influencer hyped it up, so now it's doubled in value from what I got it for.
Is that the lens people were putting on their GFXs?
Probably.
I think, yeah.
Probably. I hated it after I got it. I shot at a buddy's. I loved it. I got my own. Hated it. Don't know why. But I committed myself to shooting that the whole time we were in Hocking Hills recently, and that's what I shot. All those landscapes I just recently posted with was the 35. And now I'm like, okay, it pulled its weight. It's not that bad. But as soon as I saw Viltrox announce their 35, I was like, it's time to sell the Zeiss because holy shit.
Right.
There's a few brands I follow where I keep my finger on the pulse of what they're doing, and it's usually DJI, the drone company, and Viltrox. Those are the two I follow. Because I have a drone, I just never post photos from it because I feel like that's cheating. I'll use it for B-roll and stuff, but
Yeah, it's crazy how movies are using those drones now. Some of those dudes are, man, zipping through tight things and stuff. That's crazy stuff.
yeah, like those first-person drone videos where they have the strapped on, they're shooting through little gaps and everything. It's wild how far drone technology has come in the last 5 years, even.
Yeah.
I actually have to get going. What time? Well, yeah, we've been doing this for an hour and a half. Holy shit, time flies, man.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for coming on, and I had a blast.
Yeah.
Anytime,
Yeah,
man.
same here.
Anytime. But thank you so much, and I'm sure we'll be talking to each other again on Substack soon.
100%, dude.